Alright, hello everybody, and welcome into the final regular season week of the season. We've got Watch Party to kick it off, and it's the battle of two teams here in the Pac-12 who have been pretty disappointing this year. They had some big expectations and fell pretty short of them. Utah and Arizona State. So let's go through the rosters first, as we've got the reigning Pac-12 champions, led by Brandon Mitchell, this redshirt senior. At running back, you got Tokamaha Pakarori, the March Madness Reward player from this year. Already 2 years into his career, time sure does fly. Wide receiver Matt Warren, he made that insane catch in the Pac-12 championship last year to force overtime, where they eventually won. Ronald Jones, Gant, Norwood, kind of falls off there. They have some good tight ends, so couple, some power running, two tight end sets would probably do this team really well. And then the offensive line, all low 80s, high 70s. Lemus Broadway is hurt, the SFA player. I don't know if he's going to play or not. I think he might be questionable. And then on the other side, Nazir Fitzsimmons, he is coming next year. He is redshirted, but they've got Josh Blair. And on the other side, Travis Burns. In the middle, you've got PJ Fagan, David Bush as well. So very, very good defensive line. And Blake Black, you've got Horner and Smoot, the SFA player, as well as Bryson Johnson. And out wide, Brian Luke, Nick Montgomery, Bratton. And then the SFA player, Nicholas Oakley, in the back, along with Casey Patterson. And their kicker is SFA player Bruno Ferrari. I don't know how this team's 6-5. They will make a bowl game, but feels like they left a lot of meat on the bone this year. They just couldn't figure out the offense in some of these critical games. And they're going up against Arizona State, Coach Rick's former team. We saw them on game day earlier this year with the redshirt junior transfer from Georgia Tech, Ben Fountain. They had a great start to the year. Were ranked as high as, top 4, and then they completely fell off. Will Heron in the backfield, and Ricky So will be testing the transfer portal after getting his job stolen from Will Heron. And then at wide receiver, you got Mike Seymour. I believe he should play. Rafa Hooker, the SFA player, McLean and Dixon, and then Taco Fall, the 7-footer at tight end. And then their offensive line's pretty good as well. Little weak on the interior and on that right side. On defense, you got Hefner, Moore, and in the middle, SFA player Donnie Thurman. And then at linebacker, SFA player Curtis Lofton in his senior year. Chauncey Benjamin, really, really good player. He always makes plays when we watch him. And then SFA player Armani Sanders. And then Gorman and Johnny Mills, and they no longer have Roberto Aguayo, so it's Paul Quinn now, the freshman, and he is 12 of 18 on the year. So those are the rosters. I've already simmed games. If you want your game early, let me know, and I'll send it to you after the watch party. But yeah, we are here, and Moon, if you're here, do you want specific jerseys?
Yeah, let's go with the white throwbacks. The faux backs.
The white throwbacks. Not dark mode. The all white. Okay, Neo throwback with white jersey? Is that it? Like this?
I thought we had the white one. The thing is the old version. Let's just do the Neo throwback, yeah.
Just that? Okay. And then, obviously, Arizona State. We always have some great... yeah, there's always too much to choose from here. Let's just go something like... do this one for them, and then you're still your Neo throwbacks. All right, so Pac-12, Utah Utes, and Arizona State. Here we go. And somebody wants to commentate with me, they can. Cryo, I don't know if you're here, or anybody can jump in anytime. It's Watch Party. Just remember, VOD goes up to YouTube, so don't be dumb. All right, here we go. And a reminder to go check out Home Field. Use code SFA as always. If you order now, you'll get them right about a week before Christmas. Takes them about 14 to 17 days to get it to you. And no bowl eligibility issues going on for this game either. Both these teams will be playing in a bowl, so this is just kind of a chance to see Pack and Rory. We haven't really seen them all year long. And kind of get a gauge on these teams next year. So here we go. We are in Tempe. Fun fact, the stadium is literally built into a mountain. I don't think they really correctly depict that in NCAA 14. All right, so we got Utah starting out with the ball. And here we go, folks. Those Neo uniforms look great. Coach Moon rallying the troops. Let's see what Toki Maha Pakirori does today. Two teams that were ranked in the top 25. I think Arizona State got up to top 5. Utah got up to maybe the back end of the top 10 at one point. They're going to start out with a screen pass to Matt Warren. Key player, got to watch out for him. And look at that. He has the all-time school record for receptions in a career. Congratulations to Matt Warren. Like to have more success here as a senior, but we'll take it on. This isn't senior day. It's senior day for Arizona State. All right, Packer Rory obviously has the dreads, number 22. 2nd and 9, man in motion. Mitchell. And he's throwing it out wide. That one was risky. Not sure what the defender was doing, but Ronald Jones brings it in. That's a first down. God, these jerseys are crispy. This is a great jersey matchup. I believe he's working on Armani Sanders there. Interesting. All right, 1st and 10. They're moving the rock. 40-yard line. Here we go. Man in motion. They faked it. There's Tokamaha's first carry. Packy gets 5 yards from the March Madness reward player, following in the footsteps of the great Mo Alley Cox. Shotgun here on 2nd and 5. And off to the left side. The short side, and Packy has some room. He stiffies him in and goes down after 7. They're loving it here. All right, first drive looking good. Across the 50. Brandon Mitchell's going to throw it again. Great protection. Finds Matt Warren for about 7. Arizona State getting no push against this offensive line. And the offensive line has really been the calling card for Utah for going on the last 5 years back to their national championship winning team. So 2nd and 3 now, and they're going to go quick option. Mitchell's going to keep it here. Not really known for big runs, but 8 yards and another first down. So Utah is moving it really well here on the opening possession. All right, on the 32, Packy gets his 3rd carry there. He goes down the sideline. He breaks a tackle. He's still going. 16 yards for Packy. Boom. That was massive. All right, inside the red zone on the opening possession. We really haven't seen that all too much this year on Watch Party or Game Day. Normally these teams tend to fill each other out. And up to Packy up the middle. He finds some room on the right side. Breaks a tackle. He had the touchdown. I'm not quite sure his ball carrier vision was ready for that one. So 1st and goal now. Can they punch it in, or is the Packy mistake going to cost them? Mitchell has time. Dumps that off. Touchdown, Utah. He finds the tight end, Doug Copeland. 7-0 Utes. So that might be the reason why Packy isn't getting stats as much as he doesn't have a nose for the end zone. He missed the wide open touchdown. So kick is up and it's good. 7-0. Remember, fake news on the studio updates. Oregon and California doesn't really matter for anything. California maybe has the faintest of hopes for a CFP bid, but they would need like insane amounts of chaos.
Do we not want chaos?
Personally, I don't, but you know.
Actually, yeah, you're right. I don't feel like spending 2 hours
And here
in
goes.
a meeting.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we got Ben Fountain now, the transfer from Georgia Tech. He was in the Heisman conversation early on when they were a top 4 team after knocking off Minnesota, and then it's just been downhill since then once they went to conference play. Here's Heron. And this team really missing the leadership from Coach Rick.
Hello, is this thing on?
Hello.
Hello.
All right, sorry, Cryo was late to the booth. He was relieving himself.
Yeah, someone offered me a great steak dinner, so I had to take advantage of free food. Anyways,
There you go.
I'm now here.
Well, Utah drove down and scored a quick touchdown, so
I saw good overall usage between the run and the pass. You know, Utah really good with that multi versatility. It doesn't really show it in the record, but
all right, second and long. We've he tried to get to Taco Fall and it was tipped away there. Excellent play by number 5. I'm not sure who number 5 is, but
he really is.
oh, that was
7'.
Oakley, the safety, the
It's
SFA player.
it's Oakley, yeah.
There we go, big play by Oakley as we're gonna take it off on 3rd and long, and a dream start here for the Utes. Touchdown and a 3 and out.
And I'm sorry, but you weren't wrong. He really is 7 foot tall.
Yeah,
That
man.
is a giant player. He's been eating his vitamins.
Oh, yeah. All right, so Oakley now getting the return here. He finds some room the right side. Dude, something about those short black sleeves on this jersey, that looks so crispy. Oakley swagged out, making plays. All right, can Utah extend the lead here? Remember, this is also like a big game for Utah, as if you're 6-6 with the lack of bowl bids this year, I can only assume that some users will not get bowl games, and how it's going to be decided if teams don't make a bowl is based on really the coach activity. So Utah should be safe, but a win here at 7-5 would definitely cement their bowl status, as they wouldn't be in the cluster of 6-6 teams. As we're dumping it off here, that's the first down and a lot more. All right, Doug Copeland had the touchdown, now has a big catch. Having a big day already.
Love those double tight end sets, you know, going over the middle. Breaking tackles is the biggest thing. It really strong effort by the defensive, by that defensive mindset. But I had to ask you, if you're Arizona State, where do you go from here? I mean, to be as high ranked as you were, just to end with the season that you're about to have, it's got to be really frustrating if you're in that program.
Oh yeah, I mean, without Coach Rick, it's now their destiny is the gutter. Unfortunately, they have the running back transferring out, so I don't think they're gonna get better next year. I mean, they could still be competitive next year. I think that they've underperformed in the second half of the season this year, so I still expect a bowl, but I think the days of them competing for the CFP is long gone. As Utah is literally running it down their throat over and over again. No defensive power at all from this line. And I'm looking at Curtis Lofton, Chauncey Benjamin, the 2 impact linebackers. They need to make a play here. Toko gets a carry again and meets a safety. That's another 7-yarder. So Toko already at 55, 9 a carry. It's not looking good.
He's just so good, man. As a sophomore, he's really, really shown that he is one of the best running backs in the country. Let's be honest.
Whoa.
I mean,
phone.
I think
I
it's
agree.
time to put that conversation
Preach.
into the air. I mean,
Preach.
the versatility and also the acceleration of someone
no.
of his size. as
Okay,
unfortunately it gets
versatility.
stabbed.
No. He's a one-way horse. He's nothing more than nose to the grindstone, go forward, run to guys. He can't do
You know what?
anything else.
You know
Oh,
what? I
yeah.
was trying to, hype you up, but I guess not. Anyways.
As Donnie Thurman, the SFA player, gets a sack, so somebody's stepping up at least. But yeah, I mean, Toko, he's shown some burst and ability. I don't know, man. That first play where he cut back inside on an easy touchdown, kind of a microcosm of this season. As they're dumping it off here, can Copeland get there? No, they're going to be just short. Barely tackling him short. The tight end has been the go-to guy so far. And they're going for it. Obviously getting aggressive. You already have bowl eligibility. Really nothing else to play for other than a W. Might as well go for it. And they're just going to hand it off to Toko. And he's stuffed! Oh my! Met in the middle by Curtis Lofton, and he just got smoked. Some power back. That play was not good for your assessment, Cryo.
Yeah, obviously I did not do my research. I'm gonna be honest, because it's been a busy week. But yeah, I definitely retract my statement going forward. Anyway.
All right, so Arizona now, they got a big 4th down stop here. Can they do something? They got to stop going backwards. So 2nd and 6, doing well. Ben Founty is going to throw. He takes off, runs over a man.
Oh,
and Oakley
okay.
has to take him down. Remember, Oakley did miss a couple of weeks early on in the year, but he is back. One of those in-game recruits that committed to Utah. 1st and 10 now. They're going to hand off to Heron, cutting back inside. And once again, who else but Oakley making the tackle? Oakley's been all over the field here early on. I love this, just having him as a one single back safety. 2nd and 8. They bring a blitz, and they almost get there. Taco gets his first catch on the day. But another 3rd down incoming. So 3rd and 4, 2 tight ends on that right side. We really haven't seen much of an impact from this D-line yet. And they're going to stop him. Fantastic play by the linebacker there. And, I don't know who that number 53 is, but he made the tackle at the line. And Utah forces another
Black.
punt. There you go. Wait, it's Blake Black, is that his name?
I think it's either Anthony or Blake. Yeah, one of those two.
Ooh, what a punt. There's always something about linebackers with the last name Black,
TC.
man. They're always good.
TC, where's the video of Hail Hemlock? I've never seen it. I kind of want to watch it.
You gotta scroll up in Game Day Greats, or it's in the trailer on the Twitch channel.
I'll just go Game Day and Greats. I'm not watching the trailer.
Well, you gotta scroll up all the way to Season 9 and try to find it. It's in the middle of the season where I've played Arizona State. And I think if you just search the words Hail Heimlich, you'll find it. But jumping back here, final play of the 1st quarter, and that's a throw to Ronald Jones, his 2nd catch on the day. All right, so if we head to the 2nd quarter, it's kind of been all Utah so far, and they had one drive stall out, so maybe left a couple of points off the board, but they had full control of this game on the road. 7-0.
And that's the biggest thing when it comes to like these away games, like taking the crowd out of it, making sure that you can dominate and make sure there's no external factor. And just these are killing drives that Utah are doing, like these consistent 1st downs that are just taking the energy not only out of the team but the stadium. So good job for Utah.
Oh yeah, this offense to me plays like I'm gonna compare him to Buffalo last year, especially in a game like the national championship. If you guys remember that game, Buffalo literally just had to open the game 3 straight drives that ended in touchdowns, all that were 12 or 15 plays long, and it just took the complete wind out of the stadium, and it just never felt like there's any energy at all. And that's what Utah tries to do. They want to rely on their good defense. They want to limit possessions, and they want to dominate the time of possession. Now, in terms of the success of that offense, I think Buffalo is a bit more successful, but
And just marginally, you know, depending on the scenario. But
and Toko goes down again, so he keeps meeting Chauncey Benjamin in the backfield, and that right outside linebacker is making the play. Oh, 3rd and 7 now on the plus side of the field yet again. No man's land, so I bet you they go for it yet again. See if they can get a conversion, though. Mitchell, over the middle, he fires it, and who else but Copeland? It's been Copeland and Oakley. Copeland on the offense, Oakley on the defense all day long. Fresh set of downs.
you know, after the 65-yard start we got from this stud of a running back, I think they are starting to key in on the run more. I think you're seeing sort of less involvements, that they're really trying to plug up the middle for that and trying to prevent that and make them forced to go external, go to the wide receivers, actually chooses receiving options and see if they can test the secondary in that.
You said it was season 9, right?
Yeah.
Am I blind?
Might be season 10.
Is this the same fan from last time? Get out. What are we doing here?
It might be middle season 10. All right, Matt Warren in motion after another sack. Oh, more negative plays as Chauncey Benjamin keeps laying the wood. Somebody needs to put a blocker on that guy.
Yeah, he is having quite the game. Just finding the holes, not blocking, not the greatest for Utah. Starting out, at least when it comes to picking up those defenders in that second unit.
And now this is twice now that they just started going backwards, and we're yamming it though. And there's an open man down the sideline inside the 5, and they're gonna mark him out at the inch. Corey Edwards, his first catch of the day, marked on a linebacker. I don't know what they were doing there.
And I mean, 23 just gave up on the play. I mean, there's nothing else you can say about that. He had him on coverage, and I don't know if it was zone or man, but
I'm thinking it was zone, and he thought
effort.
that, and I thought he had safety help, but the safety was in the middle of the field. Nevertheless, it's 1st and goal now after what seemed like an Arizona stop, and Toko is just going to punch it in. There we go. 14-0 start for the Utes on the road.
Old TC had so much better energy. Like, dude, I'm sorry, but old TC is better.
But I mean, on game days, I'm much more energetic than I am on a watch party. It's a lot more laid back. But the Hail Heimlich was definitely a different animal.
Like, that's the most I've heard you curse.
That was a special play because I felt like I was gonna lose.
No, like literally, I think all the curse words I've heard you say up till now don't beat that one clip. Just the sheer amount.
Unless it involves a sniper in Fortnite, but we won't get into
yeah,
it.
oh yeah. We won't get into
that'll be a little later tonight. All right, so does Arizona State have the ability to get something going? Not there. That screen went terribly. Rafa Hooker was trying to get the ball quickly. Fountain threw it behind him. Luckily, Hooker turned that into 3 yards, but they just are out of rhythm. And all of these game days and watch parties, the most key thing is consistency in not making the big errors in the momentum shifters, because momentum plays a massive part in these games. And so now another 3rd and 7. Arizona State, you've got to get a first down here. You can't just punt it back. ASU over the middle. There they go. There's Hooker, I believe. Yep. And he's just like last week. We saw, who was it? Arian Green Davis, a deep threat. Rafa Hooker is a deep threat in his own right. He was a 5-star player. He's a deep threat guy. But he's making some of these key possession receptions like AGR was doing last week. We get a stiffy now, and Fountain stays on his feet. Holy smokes, what a run.
That was like 4 broken tackles. Good job by him to at least stay up and try and make a play.
And he's showing you why he was recruited to a triple option team, and that Coach Mike even thought he was going to put him at fullback, give him some snaps there. And that's when I was like, no, he's going to the portal. All right, 2nd and 4. They're going to flip the play. Watch out for Toko. Or not Toko, and it's Taco. Got Toko and Taco on opposite ends as Heron gets 4.
of course, related brother to the Celtics legend.
Oh yeah. And
God,
last
he is
time we
huge.
saw Arizona State, they beat TCU in a game day game as we get a mid screen that works out to Rafa Hooker. But TCU, who's now in a playoff position, all they gotta do is win their Big 12 championship. Arizona State made them look terrible. So now Utah is doing the same thing to Arizona State, and Aaron gets one. They're finally mounting a drive, though.
It's interesting, speaking from perspective of someone who's played Arizona State this year. You just see a lot of like inconsistencies with their team, especially when it comes to certain games. What? That was a burger and a
slipped
half.
out of his hand. It slipped out of his hand. That was bad.
It was like me throwing a pass. Anyways, but you see, like they're like quarter by quarter, you're probably gonna get a new version of Arizona State. Can't talk today. It's just interesting because one quarter they look great, and then the next quarter they look absolutely terrible, and it's that wild card of can they keep it consistent for 4 quarters straight?
And they're going for it here, getting aggressive. They hand it off, and he gets stuffed. And is that Blair or was that Burns? Nevertheless, it's a turnover on downs. Big play.
That's Burns.
Overrunning. Yeah, there you go. There's Burns overrunning the pulling guard, and there you go. All right, Utah comes up clutch yet again. See if they can send the lead to 3 scores. Toko gets Gary. Gets 5.
And I mean, if I'm Coach Moon, I'm really excited for next season just to see how this team develops, what he does in the offseason with the possible transfer portal if he has the ability to do that. There's a lot of interesting things interesting like ways Utah can go. So
well, yeah, considering they won, they have a good roster now. They definitely underperformed this year, but he has 2 of the best players in the class coming in already. He has the number 1 recruit, Kira Streaker, the wide receiver, and then Javi Santana, the corner, coming in. So he is beefing up the skill positions as we get another one. I think the question becomes who's quarterback next year. I don't know. That's a good question. Because Brandon Mitchell is a senior. So do they have a backup already on the roster? Is he going to rely on a senior in the transfer portal? Who knows? As we float this one out, that was dangerous, but Matt Warren catches it, and he gets the first down.
You bring up a good point, and it is really interesting because obviously they have the backup J.J. Brown. They have some others like Justin Little, like deeper down on the depth chart. But I mean, it really is interesting what direction they go because you said it. They're bringing in some of the top recruits in the class. Do they possibly go young and just try and build that way, or do they just try and go all out next year and just see if they can just strike gold, like strike the iron when it's hot, and just see if they can make that run?
Well, I think a team to look at, as you get a big play here for Ronald Jones, is a team to look at is Texas. Texas is extremely young. They have 2 in-game cornerbacks, SFA players as freshmen, and you've seen this year for Texas, they get the highest highs and the lowest lows. They lost 2 weeks in a row now to LSU and Mississippi State, but they also beat teams like Oklahoma and Alabama. So or Tennessee, Tennessee, not Alabama. But that's I kind of look there is typically when we see really highly valued freshmen, they tend to be high or low, and then their sophomore, junior, that's really their prime. So that's what we tend to see. Very rarely is there a freshman that's like truly elite. As we get a first down, all right. So threatening now Utah inside 2 minutes.
And you bring up that good point. I think the biggest thing to tell is like you're bound to see like a lot of mistakes from freshmen, no matter like what you see. So it's that learning process.
Oh, baby.
Whoa!
Toko.
Oh.
There's the grown man run as he gets his 2nd touchdown of the day. Head to head with the safety, and he just...
Oh my God.
That's targeting.
we go. But like I was saying, I think you sort of expect that with freshmen. You sort of expect that the mistakes are prone to happen with them, and usually in their sophomore season and forward, they start to mature. They start to learn what to do from there. What I think Texas is definitely an interesting team. Well, I'm really excited to see Texas next year. I'm really interested to see the direction they go.
Yeah, they could be really good. I mean, the SEC is anybody's conference except obviously the shitters. But there's Taco making a play, the 7-footer. All right, Arizona, you're down 3 scores. You got to make something of this drive, please. And I don't think I've seen that animation before. Well, it might be a big man animation. All right, Rafa Hooker, come on. Bottom of your screen, 1-on-1. Throw it deep. Test Oakley. Let's see what happens. No, Fountain, he's going to take off. He finds some room, runs over a man. 2.
Very interesting. His teammate just didn't block for him and went out for a route, even though he saw that the quarterback was running. So
yeah,
maybe a little disconnection, maybe a little chemistry lack of. So very interesting to see.
And he connects again. No, they're going to call that incomplete. So the wide open man, Taco, couldn't get a foot in bounds. Those size 30 shoes probably got in the way a little bit. So 3rd and 8.
The only shoes he can wear are clown shoes.
Fountain. And it's picked! Going the other way! That guy undercut a big time play there. And yeah, you never saw him in the middle. And is that Patterson? Is that like the 71 overall safety?
I think so.
Oh my.
That was just right place, right time for him,
Yeah, I went right to him.
The quarterback got flustered and just had to throw it away, but like you have to be smart with the ball in that perspective.
So Utah coming up clutch today, and now Mitchell is going to be running it here. So the question becomes, what is Arizona State going to do next? They may not make a bowl game if they're 6-6 as a CPU team. As there goes Mitchell. It's 12 again, so he's single-handedly running. They're trying to make this 4 scores before halftime. Inside 25 now. Mitchell, he's going to run it again. 3 in a row. At some point, you got to run a QB spy.
And running the ball is really, really effective right now. But I mean, I'm sort of looking at some of these matchups, and I think you should give these wide receivers a chance. I think some of them are getting burnt like toast. It is amazing.
Well, Toko up the middle, man, and 24 seconds now left in the half. 2 timeouts. Toko's over 100 in the first half with 2 touchdowns. Can he get another? 2nd and goal. Hand it off, up the gut, easy touchdown. Tokamaha Pakarori, 28-0. The Utes are rolling.
And I mean, look at this. He gives up the peace sign as he runs in. That is just disrespect on another level. Arizona State is just it's
Poor
hard
fans, man.
It's hard to watch, to be honest.
Imagine being a fan of a top 4 team, and then all of a sudden you're 6-6, or 6-5, losing by 28 at home. Not a fun time.
Definitely missing the guidance of Coach Mike, like you said.
Yeah, Coach Rick.
Coach Rick. I'm
I'm
not paying attention, as you can tell.
We got 22 seconds here. Arizona State, can they mount anything? I mean, and this is the fantastic defense we saw from Utah pretty much throughout the whole first half of the year. It's just their offense could never get on the same page. So now that their offense is clicking today, they're in for a good one. Is get that to Hooker. We're now in Yam range. They used timeout. They're going to hurry it up. 14 seconds left. Gonna get some spikeage here. So they'll have one more play before a Yam, assuming that they don't choke. Or maybe field goal, but probably they have a bad field goal kicker, so probably need about 40 yards. So delayed give. I'm not sure if I like that, but Heron runs over a man. But no, he's stopped short. This is going to be the end of the game, or the first half. No Yam in
And
sight.
that's the end of the game, folks.
Well, pretty much. It's 28-0 here at halftime. Cryo, who's our sponsor, quote-unquote, sponsor for the day?
The quote-unquote sponsor. I mean, I saw it today. I actually got some great SMU gear from Home Field, and I used code SFA for 15% off. The feel of the shirt, it's nice and comfy. Unlike Arizona State, the company won't let you down. It's just overall, I have some of the best apparel I've seen looking at the store and everything. Yeah, I think that Home Field is where you want to go for all your college merch.
Boom. Dude, if they ever add a GCU collection, oh baby, I will empty the bank account.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
the material is wonderful.
Oh yeah.
That I got.
Yeah, all of their stuff is like that. I just got like a massive package from them for all my Christmas gifts I'm giving my family. Super nice, so I'm hyped. All right, we're back. Can Arizona State make a comeback? I don't think so, but maybe. I mean, last week on BearCave, we saw Wisconsin blow a 31-0 lead. They still won the game, so be interesting. I think the biggest comeback we've ever seen on game day is 22 points from the Kansas-Charlotte game, but Charlotte still ended up winning. So interesting to see if Arizona State can do something here.
Yeah, I think we've reached that point in the game where we can kind of just talk about nonsense. I mean, I actually am interested to hear from UTC. Who do you think's a dark horse that has a chance at a playoff bid? Because there are a lot of good teams that have a lot of good resumes going into it. I'm interested to see if there's one that maybe you're looking at in this last week, or maybe they have a chance of probably sneaking in, backing in.
Well, okay, so if you listen to the playoff push, I go through pretty much every possibility under the sun, but I identified number 19 Illinois as the lowest possible team that has a chance to get an at-large bid that is not like an auto bid candidate, so not in the Big 12 or not in the G5. Because they face Michigan this week, who's in the top 5. If they beat Michigan handedly, and then Michigan goes on to win the Big 10, then that is a very high-quality win, and that's kind of what the committee's been rewarding this year. And also, they would need to be Iowa State fans, as they beat Iowa State way back in Week 1. And then if Iowa State happens to win the Big 12, then all of a sudden, Illinois has they have 2 wins over Power 5 champions, and they were very competitive against Minnesota, who would also be a playoff team. So then they'd be in that final kind of bubble conversation, and then it's just up to the committee at that point. But they're the quote-unquote worst team I have that has a chance to make the playoff. They need a lot to happen, but it's possible.
I agree too. I've been looking at them all season, and very very talented team, very very good all around. Just hasn't been as of lucky.
A little toss. There.
Oh,
I've not seen that before. That was an interesting play there. Yeah. The problem with Illinois is their quarterback. If Flame would have recruited a quarterback at some point, they'd be elite, but they're not. As now, all of a sudden, Utah having some miscues. Did Arizona just punt it, or am I crazy? Was there a pick or something?
I'm pretty sure they just.
It was a
punted
punt.
it.
It was a punt.
Yeah, I was
You-
like,
you
that
were
was
kinda-
way
you-
too fast. We're yamming it. Oh!
Oh!
A beautiful dive. Holy cow, what a play.
just
An
cooking the
absolute
safety,
dot at that.
cooking the safety, and that was just a beautiful throw right over the shoulder of the safety into his hands. Wow.
That was a yam butte. All right, so now they got their swagger back. Is go -4.
And now it's gone.
Yeah, nothing going right for Arizona State today, other than 1 turnover on downs. And their guy just had a easy chance at a pick, I'd think, if he would have turned and jumped, but he didn't. He tried to catch in stride. It went right over his head. All right.
I think what
And
you're seeing from Utah now is just trying to run out the clock. Just let them down nicely. I don't think they're trying to run up the score at this point. I think they know that they're dominating on both sides. Of course, there's a couple miscues, but I think they're fine with punting or kicking field goals.
Yeah, oh, for sure. It's just about running the clock out. As we're going to get a kick from Bruno Ferrari here. It's going to be a 47-yarder from the SFA kicker. Right down the middle. Yes, sir. So 31-0 is the lead for the Utes. Looking at a 7-5 finish. And I believe, wasn't last year, weren't they 7-5 and going to the conference championship where they won? I think they were 7-5.
Yeah, stole the auto bid from Morgan.
Yeah. So this division is always wacky. But yeah, I mean, this graphic just shows you tripling them on yards, almost doubling them on plays, 4 times on first downs. It's just been a terrible, terrible showing for the home team. But can they get something going? They do have the big play potential, but
I think at this point you kind of got to go for it, but instead they're just going to keep running it because I don't think Ben Fountain's been really jittery in this game. You see like he's getting under pressure a lot. He's throwing behind like the line of scrimmage, and he's doing a bunch of stuff that just isn't characteristic of someone who has a chance of winning.
What a pitch. There goes Heron. He gets a block. There he goes. Breaks one, and Oakley brings him down behind. Finally a spark from ASU, but is it too late? Yes.
99% sure. I do believe in miracles,
Well,
but
in any case, that was a nice run for Heron.
Yeah, at the end of the day, especially in a losing season where like you were doing good, you always look for those moral victories that you can like hang your hat on, especially later in the season.
Right. Quick option. This time doesn't work. There's Burns again. But Utah has always been a great game day team. Just the way that they construct their roster. It's the good defense, and then as long as the offense doesn't have an insane amount of turnovers or something, they always tend to be in it or win these close game days. 2nd and 14 now, and they're floating it, and tipped away. Blake Black having himself a day.
I mean, you got 3 people covering 2 wide receivers, and he's just throwing it into the middle of that. There's no words to describe that at that point.
Desperation. As Ben Fountain now. There goes Taco. He stiffies one, but it's going to be 4th and 5. Now, here's the question. Do you take a field goal here just to get some points on the board? That looks like what they're going to do. And remember, I don't think have ever had somebody blanked on any sort of a game day or anything. We've had 3 points only before, and that's off the upright! Oh! Missed field goal. The commentator curse hits. Is Arizona State going to be the first shutout we've ever seen on a game day style game?
And according to the laws of physics,
now it's not going to happen.
According to the laws of physics, that bounce made no sense, but I will not say anything else.
Let them cook. Let them cook. That's what I have to say. All right, Utah. A handoff to Corey Edwards. Where's Toko?
That was a wide receiver. They was an audible.
Maybe they put in the backups in, making sure there's no injuries.
No, the backup is James White, who for some reason in Sims and BearCave gets most of the carries.
That makes
Oh,
sense.
nice pass block. And there goes Matt Warren down the
Whoa!
sideline. Are they going to catch him? No, broken tackle,
No, they
touchdown,
are-
Utah.
Bingo.
79 yards. Whew.
I mean,
Warren is good. He's always been a fantastic receiver for Utah.
I've heard some good things about him, and that really strengthens it. Seeing quite the play. I mean, breaking the tackle that could have brought him down at the 15. Doesn't
Oh,
matter.
yeah, he's the
even if it's
reason.
just-
I mean, he's the reason they beat Oregon last year in the Pac-12 championship. He's always seems to have a big play, and here he is again, 38-0. Now, the question is, can Arizona State get on the board? We saw one of the worst blowouts was this season, Navy and App State, which was, what was that, 35-3? Obviously, the biggest blowout we've ever seen was Oklahoma just dominating Arizona last year. It was like 69-20 or something.
Oh, that is
From a
quite the
backup
scoreline.
quarterback.
Oh, that's even worse.
Eh. All right, Will Herring. I don't know, man. If there's somebody who could do it, it looks like Utah might. Their defense is playing insanely good.
I think Arizona State's just showing off their Dunkin' Donuts sponsorship.
There you go. Fountain. All right, gets a first down and more. There's Seymour. He's still going. They got to pull him down. And if you guys don't know, last year, Arizona State had some very rough quarterback injury troubles where they had 3 different quarterbacks out. And Mike Seymour played a little bit of quarterback in high school. He actually started a game for them and won.
Yeah, good little feel-good story.
Yep. And he's also and then last year he also dropped a Hail Mary that would have put them in the Pac-12 championship over Utah, but he dropped it. So a bit of an up and down history for Mike Seymour. But they're still threatening. Not really threatening on their own 45. Aaron, though, starting to heat up. Oakley, he can't hold him. First down, ASU.
Yeah, and everyone who's watching the YouTube video, and if you haven't seen the Nebraska-Kansas game from last week, oh my God, it was quite the game.
We've been really spoiled this year for both watch party and game day games. Like, this is one of the ones this year that's kind of rare. That's kind of a blowout and not very close. For the most part, we've had some fantastic outcomes, which is great. And remember, next week, Watch Party or Patreon does get their own conference championship. So, how that works though is it's not. You guys don't get to choose out of all of them. You get to choose one of the conference championships that doesn't really impact the playoff, and then you guys also get your very own bowl game Patreon as well. So you guys will get to vote which bowl game you get to watch. As we got a broken coverage, wide open touchdown to Mike Seymour. Arizona State gets on the board.
No donut today. I mean,
Where's the defense?
there was no one on him? I swear I
one.
saw a
That's
quarterback on him.
No, that's broken coverage. Unless somebody slipped like around the line, but no, I think they just forgot to cover him.
From
Maybe
what
they
I'm
got-
hearing.
It was a formation switch, and it caused the defense to change their play and get all confused.
Well, there you go.
As you see, this is another example of Coach Moon not living up to expectations. Anyways,
Yeah, you're not beating them 45-0. Boo. I mean, their last 5 drives, man. 4 touchdowns, 1 field goal. Unstoppable here today for the Utes. Kind of wish they would have had a little bit of this offense, throughout the season, but look at Toko.
I'm seeing like a similar theme for all these teams that like end up being around that 6-6 record. It's one of those cases where like it's the middle of the season, a lot of teams fell apart that were sort of those preseason darlings that had a lot of hype going into it.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's just something that to learn from. Maybe it's playbook tendencies. Maybe it's something with the players. Of course, injuries can be a huge factor if one major player goes down. So
And sometimes
you
the sim or BearCave just hates you. I've been there. Everybody's been
I've
there where
yeah,
you
I've been there.
lose you
Yeah.
lose very close ones or you get smoked in and Toko just forgets where the sideline is.
And the BearCave hates me. That has
Yeah.
been the entire year, and I hate that.
Bear Cave's been kind of so and so for me. So
Yeah. I mean, and then it's also tough because if you're ranked, if you're a ranked user in you're gonna be on BearCave. It's especially when you're in a conference like the Pac-12 that's super competitive. Like it's just one of those very hard things. That's why one of the best parts of the SFA is you have to be good not only in the sim, you have to be good in BearCave, and then you have to also be good on game days. And very few teams achieve all three. All right, so Arizona State gets the ball back here. Last play of the third quarter. Ricky So going to be in the transfer portal, so maybe some coaches are scouting here today. He hasn't really gotten any carries. I still can't believe he caught that one. Whew, that was a great play.
that really was a phenomenal play.
And as we head to the fourth quarter, remember, if you're here watching Watch Party and you enjoy playing Fortnite, even if you don't enjoy it and you have the game, in an hour we'll be running Zone Wars for a recruit. So if you want to play, feel free to join. As we go backwards here for -4, better to just drop that one. Now here's a question. So in that scenario right there, the quarterback throws it 4 yards behind him out of bounds. Is the ball placed there, or is it just an incompletion? I feel
In
like the
regular
ball's
rules,
placed there.
yeah, in regular, I don't NFL rules. I don't know much about college. I've been getting back into it because of SFA. Usually, that would be declared a fumble the moment you throw it backwards, because that would technically be a lateral pass. So
Right.
it would probably be placed there, to my knowledge. But I am also dumb.
3rd and 18, Arizona State decides to draw, and there they go. They're waving the white flag there, bringing out the punt team, down 31. The fat lady is singing. So now Utah, see what they can do here. And last year, they were in the Patreon Bowl game against Tennessee. And boy, that was a fantastic game in the Hall of Fame Bowl. So be interesting to see who we watch next week and in the bowl game. Remember, bowl games are randomized in terms of opponents. We'll see if they can continue to increase this lead. Toko finally stopped around the line. One of his worst runs of the day. This is a little bit better, though, Moon, is Toko, he got some carries before the third quarter, luckily. Was it the UCLA game last year where he didn't get a touch until the third quarter?
No, it was in the UCLA game. His only touch before the third quarter was a wildcat snap for him to throw it away.
Oh, yeah. So they're doing a lot better job of using their stars.
Yeah,
today.
it sounds accurate.
Oh, baby.
Oh.
There's Chauncey Benjamin yet again. He's the only guy who can take out Toko. All right, 3 and out.
And I mean, looking at the Pac-12 in general, especially if you look in the South Division, there's a lot of relatively good teams. Of course, you have Stanford, Arizona, and Utah, but then you have some lower level ones like USC, Arizona State, and UCLA. But overall, not a pretty stacked like division from a talent perspective. Arizona State next year might be lower on the list, but
No, you're
overall,
right. This is a very, very talented division. I mean, USC is in the gutter in this division, and they're always like a 90 overall team. So, it's one of the harder divisions in the country. but it's also like a division that completely eats themselves. It's not like the Big Ten East where there's 3 teams that are always really good and then the rest are kind of bad. Any 6 of these teams at any given year can get to 9-3 to 10-2 and make the playoff. Especially with the 12 team now, and like I said, Stanford holds a lot of influence over how the CFP is going to shake out based on what they do against Fresno this week and Washington in the CCG. As you're going to throw that one, that was risky. Whew.
No, I was hoping for a Fresno State loss last week, but unfortunately they did win. So overall, it's a big week in the Mountain West too. So we'll see how that goes.
Mountain West, yep. It's I wish it was a play-in for Hawaii too. It'd make the game so much better.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that Hawaii is in a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
Going against us, but overall, it's a talented team. It's not. There's no real stars on that team. And I think that's the one thing that's holding Hawaii back. Like it's a good, well-rounded team.
Yeah, they're old. It's one of those very old teams. A lot of seniors. That's good, but there's nobody that's exactly, I would say, elite. Especially how Coach Woolley recruits. All right, Arizona State. You got to start scoring in a hurry. See what they do.
They should have done that about 3 quarters ago, but
yeah, well, 4 minutes. Will Herring. Okay, up the middle.
Ooh.
Oakley, though, continues to negate the big play.
That was like his probably the biggest play on offense so far. So congratulations to Arizona State.
Hey, they've had a couple big plays.
A couple.
Let them cook. Ben Fountain, he's going to take off. Here he goes up the middle, and he breaks one and goes down. Oh, he's still up. Oh, let him keep running.
Oh.
Boo.
That was like that Nebraska backup.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was a electric play.
That's one of the things is like we still haven't really seen a play like that where they're on the ground, they get up and they run for a touchdown. We've not seen that yet.
I think it's just because it's like glitchy animations and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, but
and by that time, the entire defense is around the ball carrier, just waiting, like wanting the ball to be.
But anybody who's played the game for a really long time knows that happens sometimes, and that you get a nice little chunk out of it. All right, going back to Herring, and he stuffed it yet again. Clock's running. Got to score. Arizona State at this point just trying to make it look good on paper to the Easterners who don't watch Pac-12 games and just look at the box scores. Handoff up the middle, get a stiffy there. I believe this is the fullback running it. Charles Jackson, his first carry. Inside the 5, clock is running. They're going to throw it here over the middle, and it's dropped. Mike Seymour. 2nd and goal. I got some nice highlights out of this game, though. So, goal line formations. They throw it again. Only one receiver. And they throw it into quadruple coverage. Only one receiver there. Not the best play design. 3rd and goal now. Handoff up the middle, and he's stuffed again.
Oh.
So Utah looking to get a goal line stand now. Oh, baby, from the 2. Oh, no. They hate when the defensive line comes out with only 3. A draw will kill him. Oh, it's quick option. He breaks the tackle. He gets it off. Touchdown, Arizona State. And there is that flash of brilliance that we know Ben Fountain can provide. It's just he's not consistent.
I mean, you're totally right. He's just one of the most inconsistent players when it just comes to overall pressure. It's just not one of those players you can rely on.
Exactly. So onside kick time now. Can we get some magic? No, he's going to recover that and get smoked. That's Mark Gant. But they still have some timeouts. They're only down 24. It's 3 scores.
As Pacquiao just, a fourth of the team's production been through him. So he's obviously
yeah.
being a key factor of at least controlling the game. And
Yeah, as he stumbles
someone they
for
can rely on.
6. So a great showing here for Utah today, as they will improve to 7-5 on the year. Now, it's not an improvement from last year's regular season, and it's not a decline, but definitely feel like they left some meat on the bone, as we'll wait for their bowl game selection here in a couple of weeks. And off to Packy Rory yet again, as they're hoping he sticks around for 2 more years. First and goal now. Timeouts are gone. They can just run it here. And Toko, can he get his 4th touchdown of the day? He runs over another one, and he gets only 10. 155 yards, 3 touchdowns. I think Moon is very happy with the production and the workload that they're giving their star. 2nd and inches now. They are just going to run some clock now. Don't know why they decided not to use the run clock feature, but nevertheless. Toss out right. Toko gets the room, and he gets his 4th touchdown of the day. Hello, Tokumaha Pakarori.
What an unbelievable rusher he is. He's the one thing I can tell by just watching him. Obviously, for me, this is the first time I'm watching him. Is that acceleration is next level. His ability to just break into that top end speed is just unmatched, honestly.
Now the problem though is his top end speed is slow. So
yeah,
he's like burst, break tackle, and then that's it. So he's not going to break 90, 60, 70 yard rushes, but these 10 to 15 rumble tumbles are
he reminds me a lot of like Marshawn Lynch, someone who can get up to that top end speed. It's not much, but he's someone that can basically drag the enemy team with him and score a touchdown when it comes to that. But
if you want the comp that I was kind of going for the old heads, it's Marion Barber from the Cowboys.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's who I
was
envisioning when I made him. Yeah, the Tony Romo days.
And I mean, we were talking earlier.
I've always thought of him as like a Brandon Jacobs.
There you go. We had a Brandon. We had Brandon Jacobs. He was an ECU Pirate, and he was dog meat. He was my backup. Ugh, he sucked.
He just wasn't good.
The early days of ECU football were absolutely dreadful. We had Brock Osweiler. He was terrible.
Still are.
Brandon Jacobs.
Still are.
The only player I recruited that was anywhere good was Shelby Harris, the defensive tackle.
ECU football is still enjoyable because you do good, but then you just choke it all away.
Yeah, but
I mean, technically that just makes him the Cowboys of SFA, which isn't terrible.
You're right, and all of us hate him.
I'd rather
You're
be
right.
I'd rather be the Lincoln Riley of the SFA, not the Cowboys. No thanks.
You're the Cowboys.
That's
you're the Cowboys.
Skooks,
no, you're
the
Cowboys.
All right,
Scoop's the Cowboys fan, but he's not the Cowboys.
We got victory formation here. One more snap. Actually, they don't even have to snap it again. That's going to be the game. So as we hit triple zeros, Utah comes down to Tempe and absolutely dominates the Sun Devils 45-14, embarrassing Arizona State off of their home field in what really was a truly disappointing year for the Sun Devils and Utah, but get a nice W here. Hopefully they can ride this momentum with Toko into next season and all of their 5-star recruits they're bringing in.
All I gotta say is the only person that hyped up Utah this year was you and Yui, so it was a down year from the start. Everyone else saw our wide receiver room and everything else, and it was like, yeah, this is not going to be the year for them. This was just a you and Yui product of all that hype. That was it.
But to be fair, Utah won the national championship with a worse roster than this. So, I'm always high on Utah when they're good in the Pac-12, like when their roster's good. Next year, though, you're going to have a bunch of expectations. You're going to have top running back. You're going to have a top wide receiver. You're going to have a top corner. You're going to have Oakley back. You're going to have great linebackers, fantastic defensive end. Oh, man. If the quarterback's anything worth a damn, it's going to be a good team.
I mean,
I think we're going to have Fitzsimmons and Blair back, so it's going to be a nice bookend right there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's
so
also
Packer Rory this second quarter, man. Oof.
Oh, my God. 3 touchdowns. Oh, my.
Right, let's
two in a minute and a half. That is absurd.
So Arizona State, they didn't even give a carry to Ricky So, as he said, fuck you guys, and I'm going to the portal. And leading receiver was Taco Fall outside that one catch by Seymour. Offense was dreadful. And on defense, really, Chauncey Benjamin was the only good part. They got a couple of sacks, but nothing crazy. And kicker missed the only attempt. Utah, Brandon Mitchell, really, he's turned out into a serviceable quarterback for you guys. He's got Toko now, dominating. Warren, fantastic. It's going to be tough to replace him. And then defense, obviously we saw Oakley. You had the safety, the guy in the secondary who really is the only liability. He got a pick. And then 2 sacks from Fagon. And nothing from Burns or Blair in terms of sacks, but they did get work in the tackles for loss. Kicking, Bruno Ferrari did his thing. All right, so there we go.
Yeah, I don't know what was up because Blair leading the nation in sacks last year, and then all of a sudden cannot buy one for his life.
So
I don't know what the change was.
I think there's something in the game code where, like, if a player is threatening, like, the all-time sack leader or something like that, where like if they have a crazy year, they will not have a good year the next year in the sim. So you have to rely on those game day games, because same thing happened to Shad Boyko, the Baylor guy. He had like a 13-14 sack season, and then his senior year he got 2.5 sacks, which made no sense. So it's just one of those things. All right, well, that will do it for Watch Party here. Let me end the recording.